Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking out the Su-34 Fullback, and we have the KH-38MT missile. Now, this is a very good aircraft for air-to-ground combat missions, such as seed. If you want to seed the ground, isn't that what that means? And if you want to do a little bit of deed or dead, if you want to do any of that fun stuff, the Fullback is definitely one of the better aircraft to use, at least if you're in the Russian tech tree. Now, this compared to some other fighters, it's pretty similar in terms of capabilities. I will say it lacks in terms of air-to-air capabilities, but it does make up for it with its easy-to-use missiles. As you can see here, they're pretty much point and click. You find a target, click, shoot, and then you turn away, and bam, the kills just rack in just like that. Now, this is tank sim, so you're able to spawn in the Su-34 immediately without having to, wait for spawn points or whatever. So this thing, early game, is super dangerous. You just fly up, launch all your missiles, and then fly back down. And you do get 6 of the KH-29 TDs, so as you can see, I already salvoed 3 of them, and I begin to salvo my last 3, and as I launch that last missile, I do see a SAM launched at me, but honestly, this thing's not bad at evading missiles. As long as you know what you're doing against a SAM, you could do a pretty good job. You can see we destroyed the the SAM that was shooting at us. So again, like I said, you could dump some seeds with this. You could throw some, flower seeds on the ground. Other than that, the main tactic I like to use is basically help the ground units as much as I possibly can. Tank sim has a little bit more teamwork. The players have to think before they shoot because, they're targeting vehicles that don't have markers. So I like to help out the team in any way possible by potentially marking units or killing tanks that would otherwise be a threat. Now, as you can see here, this Black Knight here uses its APS to absolutely decimate my missile. And I was actually quite confused. I'm like, wait, his APS is actually strong enough to blow up that whole missile? So that's something I learned. I do launch another one. It still doesn't pen, so I switched to guns to sort of mark where he is for the friendly tanks on the ground. But fortunately, I do turn back around to go find him. I'm like, you know what? I still have a couple missiles left. I launch him off, and luckily, they're able to go right through. He must have ran out of APS, or maybe it was at a weird angle, but it still was able to pen through and kill him immediately. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. We end up getting 7 kills, helping the team, and winning the battle. Now, in terms of this jet's air-to-air capabilities and defenses, it's not bad. I mean, you're able to carry the R-73 and the R-2070R and ET and the R-77, so you could carry a pretty good mix of weapons. As you can see here, I was hit by an F-15E, and the jet just shrugs it off, and I'm able to launch 2 missiles at him and kill him. So sometimes I bring the R-77s, sometimes I bring the ETs. It just depends on how I feel in the situation. Now, I would prefer something like a Rafale or an F-16C or even an F-15E in terms of situational awareness and air-to-air capabilities. But for what you get, the Su-34 can, survive on its own. The jet's not going to be constantly, surrounded by enemy fighters in tank sim. And one of the main reasons is because you usually have the S-1 Panzer on your side, which is also clearing enemy jets in the sky. Another thing I forgot to mention is you do get a ground radar, but the situations where you use it they're kind of far in between, right? The way the radar works on this, at least the ground radar, is the target has to be moving to track him with the radar, right? So if nobody's moving on the map, you're not going to find anything. Sometimes carcasses, if they get pushed, they will be detected. So, I mean, it really depends. Maybe if nobody's on the enemy team, then you can use it and get lucky. But it is there for you to use, especially because this thing does not get a T-pod and lacks in terms of situational awareness. But like I said before, you can use the missiles to find targets with the thermal camera on the missile itself. So it's really not bad. It's honestly unnoticeable. I really like the jet. Anyway, tell me what you guys think about this in the comments down below. Have you guys been using this in Tank RB? Have you been using it in Tank Sim? Is it good? Do you like it? Personally, I think the jet's pretty sick. Anyway, take care.